Yeah, fellow televiewers of ABC TV, fellow Amazonians, welcome to Reflections this week. Today, the 3rd, 4th of December 2020. I might be mistaken in the days. I'm very sorry. I was in a rush to catch up with time. We have to understand that time has changed here and we have a time difference, and this is really affecting our show. We apologize for the late coming. It is all due to time schedule and our job descriptions. We apologize on behalf of the team of Reflections. I apologize to every televiewer of ABC TV and to all Amazonians on Ground Zero for our late coming. Notwithstanding, we are still here and trying to make things happen. With me today, I have my comfort as usual. You all know her, and Comrade Ayon. And our able technician at the background will say thank you for making it possible that we are still here today, even though coming late. As the saying goes, it's better to be late than never. We shall be coming back after this short break. Thank you so much. Today's show, we shall be talking about our draft. Then we shall be talking about the ghost town that is starting today. We shall be looking at the situation in about the proprietor of Madam Francisca, the issue that occurred in Kumba. We learned that the proprietress has been transferred to Boya, and then we shall be looking at the situation. We shall be looking at the situation of the Mbororos in Donga Amantum. Other things will be coming up as we move forward. Thank you so much, televiewers of ABC TV, and once more, you are welcome. May you share as we move on. Let's build the audience. We shall be back after this short break. Fellow televiewers of ABC TV, once more, you are welcome. This is Lauren Dancy with The Reflections. Today, Thursday, November 3rd, 2020. I am here today with our usual team of The Reflections, Mark Comfort and Comrade Ayon. Again, as I said, we apologize for our late coming. Let's welcome in the house Mark Comfort and Comrade Ayon. Maybe we're having some technical issues while we are waiting to have Mark Comfort online. Let's have a short break. Our technician, okay, she's here, right here with us. Mark Comfort, you are welcome to The Reflections with Larry Dancy. As usual, today we shall be looking at the lockdown that is starting today until the 6th of this month against the so-called La République elections that we have banned in our land. Then we shall also be looking at the situation with the proprietress of Mother Teresa Francisca College in Kumba, and we shall also be looking at how people are meeting their drafts. Next week, with this issue of the draft, we shall be inviting some LGA and county chairs along the line as the show shall be going, because they are the ones that are really in charge of this draft and see that people pay their pledges. And we shall also be looking at the situation in Donga Bantu to update out with all the happenings and the current event over there in Donga Bantu. I thank you so much for coming, and I think Comrade Ayon shall be coming later. Let's start with the lockdown of today. We have called on all Amazonians that no elections organized by La République du Cameroon shall be welcome in the land of Ambazonia. This has been emphasized starting from the high level of the interim government through the spokesperson of the interim government, Secretary Chris Anu. And we have also used this uh, platform to sensitize and educate Ambazonians on how and why we don't want any elections organized by La Republique in our land anymore. Our independence was restored, and we stand to defend it to the last man standing. My comfort, what are we telling Ambazonians, and which are the reasons why this lockdown is expected to be very perfect and should be 100%?
Okay, thank you so much, Comrade Larry, for making it possible again for us to be here tonight. Before I start, I would say I would like to greet you all, fellow Amazonians. I greet you, dear televiewers, and I am your humble comfort confor. Yes, of course, it's good you are just starting with the very important one, the lockdown. I know it at times it feels like, oh, we want to just wear the shoes of our people and feel what they are going through. I just want to start by first of all appreciating our people on the ground, that whatever thing you are doing, rest assured it is not going unnoticed, and we can never say thank you enough. The only thank you that we want that should take place in your lives would be a free Amazonia. And we are ready to get a free Amazonia restored for all of us, both you at home, we are in the diaspora, and our suffering people in the refugee camps. I just want to use this opportunity to say, let us, be it people back home or people in the diaspora, let nobody feel like the lockdowns are a kind of punishment on our people. No, it is just what we call civil disobedience, and it works. That is the only way of showing to the world that whatever thing, one of the things that I would like to digress here is bit is that we Southern Cameroonian Amazonians, we are such a good people to the fact that we cannot stop respecting people or giving value where it is not due. That is not an election. It is just simply a selection. Like we said, if somebody listened to Secretary Chris a couple of days ago, Secretary Chris says the lockdown is not like to stop the selection from taking place because it's going to take place anyway. So it is just to prove to the international community that this selection, this evil selection of the colonial impostors, is not taking place on our behalf. Whoever is conniving with them, whoever is enabling such a thing to take place on our land, such a foreign evil practice to take place on our land, they are not doing it on our name. They are not doing it on our behalf, because we are two countries, and there is no way a foreign evil project or can ever take place on that land. So we can only appreciate, and we can only say, hang on, hang in there, and keep on keeping on. Stay there, be strong, and use this time to pray. Use this time to just find time and do something useful, more, get closer to children and to neighbors and so on. Just meditate and pray for homeland, pray for our victory, and cry to God, because God knows exactly what we are going through, and God sees what you are going through. God knows exactly what you need. The truth is that our case is lying on the table of the Lord, and it can never go without it being accomplished. So I just want to, I'm saying so much, but let me stop here by just saying once again, thank you, keep on, you are doing just the right thing, and it is not meant to penalize you. It is not meant to inflict pain on you. It is only meant to show to the international community that we own the land of Amazonia, and we decide what happens there. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Malcolm, for Comrade Ayon. You are welcome once more to ABC TV and to the Reflections. Thank you so much for coming. Comrade Ayon, while you were on your way coming, we were talking about the so-called elections of organizing our land by La République. We are coming to the elections, but now we are trying to tell Ambazonians the reasons why we have to lock down Ambazonians. We are trying, as Mark Comfort just said, Mark Comfort, thank you so much for that analysis. We are trying to tell the international community that we stand by our word of restoration, that our land does not accept any activity that is organized by La République du Cameroon, including their elections. They don't have any embassy in southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. Therefore, we don't recognize any elections organized by La République. As Malcolm just said, we know that they are going to make some handpick. They have always done so. Since in the 90s, even with John Frundi, they have always come in, pretend as though they want to do something. But this time, we are about to tell the international community that we don't accept and we are not participating in any elections organized by the Republic. Comrade Ayon, what are you telling Ambazonians the reason why Ambazonia should be 100% locked down from today, from the 4th to the 6th of December? We know that Christmas is coming. This is the month that people are so busy with businesses, but yet we want them to give us 3 days of total lockdown of the entire territory.
Thank you very much. Now, I just wanted to take just a 2 seconds look at this crazy map I'm holding here. Can you see that very clearly? Okay.
Yes, sir.
This map, you can see that it looks like somebody who has had too much meat and chicken, and that they cannot control their weight. Now, that is supposed to be the reason why La République thinks that they own us. Now, look at that map very carefully. Does that map look like La République?
No.
No. Does that map look like Southern Cameroon? No.
No.
Does that map look like La République owned Southern Cameroon? No. That is German Cameroon, this is German Cameroon. Here, at the bottom here is part of Gabon. Central African Republic is around there somewhere. Chad is also part of it. There is nothing on this map that says that La République owns Southern Cameroon. There is no La République on that map. There is no Southern Cameroon on that map. This is the beginning of this problem. La République is claiming that because this map contains part of La République and Southern Cameroon, therefore they own us. It's the most ludicrous thing that even a mad person will be ashamed to say. After the German colony, this German Cameroon, the League of Nations created La République as a separate territory and created Southern Cameroon as a separate territory. We were not part of them. They don't own us. Those countries started after the Germans lost the war. That is when the countries actually came into fruition. La République has no logical ownership of Southern Cameroon. If they want to claim that because of this large map here, they own us, we can also say we own them. If that is the logic, and Chad can also say that they own Southern Cameroon. So what I'm saying is some of the diplomats can elaborate better on this. La République does not have any reason to be holding elections in Southern Cameroon. None. All right? Now, if you come back to the issue of the plebiscite, you will say that La République did not sign the Union Treaty, so we are not in a union with them. La République did not engage in the federal constitution, so those Southern Cameroonians who say they are federalists, I am not against them. You can say what you like, but there is no federal constitution signed by Southern Cameroon or La République. In the absence of a federal constitution, there is no federation. My argument is La République has no reason whatsoever to come and be conducting election in a different country. That is not acceptable to us. Okay? The only way they can do that is to, first of all, go to the United Nations. The United Nations has said to La République very peacefully that go and deal with the root cause of the problem. They have refused to deal with the root cause of the problem because they know that the root cause of the problem is that they have annexed Southern Cameroon. Since you have annexed Southern Cameroon and you are hiding it, you don't want the world to know about it, so they don't want to negotiate. So all they are doing now is imposing themselves on us. We should have elections. They will arrest a Southern Cameroonian to go and put them in Yaoundé. Arrest Ayok Tabe to put him in Yaoundé to claim that we are one country. We are not. This election is another tactic. It's a tactic by La République to continue the annexation. They want to tell the international community that we are one country, we are happy to be together, and it is inappropriate. I just want to add one quick point there before I let you get back to it. I heard what the president said, and I'm in total support of the president, Sako. I'm totally in support of him. The only issues I'm a bit concerned about is that those people in Cameroon are going through some very tough time from both sides. So what we need to do is, while we are encouraging them not to carry out this election, those DOs and chiefs, we should also be careful and go softly with them, because they are basically under the control of La République. If they don't do what La République does, they can be killed. So I think we should just go softly with them. We can tell them that we don't want them to carry out any election in our territory. We can give them our reasons, but I'm afraid to say some of them, either they've been bribed, but they are scared of their own life, and they might end up still trying to do that. The ghost town is absolutely fantastic, and I think it's the best way that we outside can help those people who are under oppression and subjugation in Cameroon. All right. So yes, I totally support the ghost towns.
Yeah, thank you, Comrade Aaron Eyong, and fellow televiewers of ABC TV. Once more, there is lockdown starting tomorrow the 4th until the 6th of December 2020. The reason for this lockdown is that we want to tell the world that we have denied any elections conducted by La République in our land. Whatsoever form, we don't want it, and we don't want it anymore. To those who are doubting the reason why we are very right on what they are doing, to those who want to preach federation or whatsoever form of integration with La République, there is just one thing I want to remind you all. La République du Cameroun is a member state and a signatory to the African Charter. Southern Cameroon, Ambazonia, is not a signatory to the African Charter. The Cairo Declaration states, as I quote, boundaries attained at independence remain permanent and unchanged until there is a treaty to that nullification. La République du Cameroun got her independence on the 1st of January 1960, got admitted into the United Nations on the 20th of September that same 1960 as La République du Cameroun. La République du Cameroun, which is a member state of the African Charter, signed the Cairo Declaration accepting to respect their borders at independence. Anybody who is preaching federation with La République du Cameroun should first explain to Ambazonia what is happening to their signatory to the African Charter with respect to their commitment to respect their borders at independence. This is a simple question. Unfortunately, those who are trying to preach federation are people who are of the legal department or the legal field. These are people that we expect that they were the ones that were supposed to be quoting this charter and educating Ambazonians. Rather, they are the ones that are hiding the truth and are on the surface preaching federation. Fellow Ambazonians, Southern Cameroon was the first African country that conducted the first democratic elections in 1959. Southern Cameroon attained self-government before La République du Cameroun in 1954. La République du Cameroun only attained self-government in 1957. There is no documents and there is nothing to show that Southern Cameroon is an integral part of La République du Cameroun. So there is no reason why somebody should even talk of federation before we even have to go for a debate on that topic. Because La République have international commitment with respect to their borders and with respect to their nationality. At the United Nations Secretariat today, La République du Cameroun has a map excluding Southern Cameroons. They have a name, which is La République du Cameroun, that was gained at the time of their independence. Which are the arguments that we even have to go into debate? The only thing that we have to stand is we have to resist recolonization by La République. So those who are trying to say that they have the right to preach federation, I don't see any right here until they prove to Ambazonians why La République, which is a signatory to the African Charter and accepted to respect their borders at independence, violated the borders and should go with impunity. We are telling every enabler, anybody participating in La République's election, that anything that meets you out there, you take it. We have said this, I think it's enough. We have said it again, and again, and it is enough. Those who think that they have the right to say whatever thing they have to say, we have international documentation at our side. Until you can prove us wrong, then can you come into the land of Ambazonia and preach that trash? We are not going to accept it today. We are not going to accept it tomorrow, and we will not accept it next year. We are going to resist La République to the last man standing. We are just pleading with fellow Ambazonians, fellow citizens of Ambazonia, that the lockdown is not intended to punish. This thing has happened to other countries. Let's look at Rwanda today. Let's look at Ghana today. There was a time that Ghanaians were moving in our own land repairing shoes. But because they were determined to fix it, that is why Ghana is a better country today. The president of Ghana is ranked the best president in Africa among the first 10 today. Second by Rwanda. These are countries that have paid a price. This is our own turn to pay our price for our children and our children to be born tomorrow. Thank you so much for your understanding. Lockdown starts tomorrow. Let's do it well to make sure it is 100%. We are calling on all Ambazonians on ground zero to do everything you could. Do it in your own way. Stay home and be safe, because our restoration forces will be out there. Those who are going to participate or whatever appointees of La République, we are going to take note of you. Our restoration forces, our forces of law and order, and the law will be implemented accordingly. Thank you so much. Let's now go to my comfort. We learned of the situation of Mother Francisca in Kumba. I read a short publication here. What do you have to tell Ambazonians? This is something that is happening here. When La République wants you, They need to by every cost. When we said there should be no school resumption, some proprietors and proprietors took us as enemies. La République needed them not for the sake of the education of our children, but to tell the world that things have normalized. Today, the same people who were helping La République to tell the world that things are getting normal are under the persecution of La République du Cameroon. My comfort, what do we have to tell other Ambazonians, parents, proprietors, and proprietors who are still keeping their school open?
Okay, thank you once again, Comrade Larry. I would just want to start by, first of all, making it understood that it's not like somebody is happy what is happening to the proprietress of Mother Francisca School, you know. So it is ridiculous when you find a reason for which she is being moved from one dungeon to the other, being accused of murder and things like that. Why should a proprietress, that is private business, why should I kill my own client? Then it defeats the purpose for the business, doesn't it? Why should I kill my students? The people for the reason for which I opened the school, and if they don't come to school, I will not make money. Why should I kill them? That's one of the funny things about this whole thing. Apart from that, it is a lesson to all of us parents of Ambazonia. That is what Paul Biya is for us for the past 60 years, or for 60 years now. It has never been different. This goes back to his smartness, Comrade Larry. This is your idea that La République is a very smart people. They have tactics, or what do I put it? You know, so at the beginning they will say, open your schools, send children to school. Your security is guaranteed. I will get people to guard you, to protect you and the children. And before you blink your eye, this is what happens. Just so that they will now make it look the way it is looking now. So it is a kind of a caution or an eye-opener to the rest of the schools that think that they could still manage to go. Because shortly after this, we saw our own girl children run naked in public, or our children, because there were boys equally among them, even though no one of them was killed. But what is that? Stripping them in front of the public, pictures going viral to the whole world. It is unacceptable. So what we want now, once again, dear parents, proprietors and owners of schools or whatever, what we want now is your security. What we need now are your lives. We do not need this education now, because why are we here today anyway? Why are we here? Why did 2016 happen? I'm asking again. It was just because of this same school thing. When you said, let's have a chat and make things look the way we had agreed for them to look like. And we got them ourselves where we are today, and we are not ever learning a lesson. You know, these people, these same people that promises that things that these are all the same. I remember there's some years ago when the prime minister came, this guy from Oku. I remember some year when there were campaigns. I'm digressing, but I think that's relevant. When there were these campaigns going on, they went to Oku and put down electric poles all over the place. Say, well, they can't put electricity tomorrow. But you know that immediately elections took place, and after that, the next day, all of the electric poles disappeared just exactly the way they appeared on that land. That is the same thing with this school thing. They tell them, say, never mind, send your children to school. We are going to send the BIR to stay around, or the military or whoever to stay around and protect you. Where were they when these people came? We have the military, we have brigades, we have police all over the place. The act took so much long time that nobody could have noticed it. If you know all of those things, they just set you up, you know it, and then you go for this. I just go try my luck. Nobody is happy that they are where they are today, but they are still going to do it for the next person. So it is the place is ours to take time to learn the hard way and be patient. This thing takes sacrifice. You know, moreover, let us not forget that our people, our young men and women, they have willingly offered themselves on the table of sacrifice, you know, just so that we can have independence. So sacrifice your schools, keep your children at home. Because like we say, education today, you don't have to go to a classroom. Our children are already educated enough because a majority of our population has at least basic education, so educated that they can teach the ones that they have not known anything yet. A primary four child can teach their younger sister who is 2 3 years old. Let's do that while we wait, because it is only a matter of time. It takes sacrifice of blood, of homes, like you are going through now, of education and all of those things. Let us be wise and stay at home and be patient and pray for protection and safety until homeland comes and we get what we want. I've been trying all of these days. I go through all places. I find out about all these African countries. The other day I was tempted to say, like, it did like devil he told, like they play with devil the shit did about that country, Cameroon, because this guy was Trump was so polite to call it the entire Africa, but the shit whole country in its real sense is that country, because that is the only underdeveloped, the most, I mean, is everything about that place is disgusting. If we are going, please do not look back. Let's not look back. Let's tighten our fist and hold on to the plow and move on until we reach homeland, because we are almost there. They are bleeding. Their people are confessing to us every day. So forget about that thing they say you are fighting amongst yourselves or what. These people are dead and gone. They are helpless. They are helpless. So let us just do the right thing, get it out of our way, and then we get our homeland and do what we want to do for ourselves. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, my comfort. That was so well educated, and anybody they say here where they hear, maybe say that they talk plenty. I think you have said it all. And what I would tell Ambazonians is that during school reopening, I think Mother Francisca and the husband were very good friends to La Republique at the time of school reopening, because at that time, La Republique was seeing them as those who were out to help them tell the world that things are getting normal in Ambazonia. Same as other proprietors and proprietresses who are still keeping their school open. You are a good friend to La Republique today. Same as Gervais Mendoza was a good friend to Paul Biya at the time he was conducting choirs and singing praises to Chantal Biya and Paul Biya. Same as Fonjindam, who is in a New Bell in Douala today, in a prison which cannot even keep his height, was praising Paul Biya of the CPDM. Some people today are still giving themselves as a sacrifice, and because they are still like friends to La Republique today, they still want to come tell us that, oh, they are going to stand the elections, not knowing that they are just friends of La Republique today. La Republique du Cameroon does not have permanent friends. La Republique you are only a friend to La Republique du Cameroon at a time when they want to use you to achieve something. La Republique du Cameroon used Mother Francisca's school to tell the world that, oh, things are getting normal and we are handling the situation. Now, schools were up, Mother Francisca reopened her school and children were going to school. La Republique has achieved the mission. Now something has happened, which is even orchestrated by the same La Republique. Mother Francisca and the husband and 4 others are now paying the price in the hands of that same La Republique. So we are telling every Ambazonian who is giving yourself to La Republique as an agent should understand that you are just a prey in the hands of La Republique. Tomorrow, they are going to prey on you. They will feed on your blood and they will feed on your flesh. Comrade Eyong, what do you have to add as an advice to our people on ground zero to stop being agents or enablers to La Republique du Cameroon, being agents and enablers who are really helping La Republique to tell the international community that things are getting normal?
Okay, I think La République has a story here to tell. La République, as you said, as Comfort said, Comrade Comfort said, La République is very clever, so they're not stupid. They are probably listening to this show now. They have their strategies. So let's look at their whole plan. Their plan is to say that Southern Cameroon restoration forces are terrorists.
Genau.
That is what they want to do. And that everybody else is happy to be together. All of us want to be together. Southern Cameroonians, La République, we're all happy. But there is a group, a minority group, who are called our restoration forces or Ambazonians, who are terrorists. Okay? So how do they achieve this? They are going to achieve this by carrying out terrorist activities themselves and then blaming it to the terrorists. And then taking pictures of that and then selling it to the international community. You see, so this is a plan that we should realize that is what they are doing, and we should react appropriately. If you look at the American priest who was shot a long time ago, the first thing they did that because they knew that they could easily frame the restoration forces. So they did. But after serious investigation, it was clear that it wasn't the restoration forces, it was them. They found, apparently, some of the research shows the gun that they used came even from the La République. The bullets came from La République. So this is why America actually, based on things like that, America went along and gave them sanctions for human rights abuses. They didn't give sanctions to Southern Cameroon. They gave it to La République. La République is not winning this propaganda thing that they are doing. Okay, the issue of the school with this again, it is again their tactic again. What they're taking these people, what they're claiming is this, that these killings that have taken place has something to do. They have found out who has done it, and it's something to do with these people. So we all know, and the international community knows, is that La République did it. Let me put some tests everyone. The international community is not stupid. The United Nations is not stupid. They know that La République is carrying out terrorist activity in Southern Cameroon. You got the FBI, you got the CIA, you got Scotland Yard. These are groups, these are official police organizations that we don't joke with. La République is not more intelligent than them. So whatever game they are playing, I'm afraid to say they will be caught. All right. So this business of this woman, they went and shot those people in Kumba. All right. All the evidence has proven that it's them who shot those children in Kumba. All right. So all of this is deflection tactics. Now I don't want to spend too much time again because of the show. We'll just say that we send our condolences to the family. And our job here, as we are out, we are not in the country, we should try our very best to put pressure on the Cameroon government for Ayoktabe, for all these people that they are locking, innocent people, that they should be released. Okay, we can put pressure outside to all the people that they are arresting for all kind of dubious reasons. We can put pressure on them to release this family. Okay. Cameroon government is all this business of we've arrested her, she's been put to this, is to assert authority. They want to give the impression that they are in control of that country and they are the legal government of that country. That is why they will put Ayoktabe in front of the court and then jail him for life in prison. All that is a trick. This case of this woman is a trick. All right, we are clever enough to know what they are playing. So all we're going to do is we're going to tell them, unfortunately, we know what game you're playing. We will help those people who are in jail. We're going to put pressure on you to release them. All right. And that's as far as I'm going to say on this. We need to simply be smart enough to understand. Let me tell you, La République knows that we don't want the children to go to school. La République knows that. So what does La République do? They sabotage that by killing children and then blaming it on the Saudi Cameroonians. All right? Then they are playing this game cleverly. It's not working, but they are playing the game. So all I can say is they are being smart. We found that they are being smart. We are going to be on the right side here. We're going to support the families of those people who are in jail. We're going to support that lady who is in prison, and we're going to put pressure for La Republique to release them because they are innocent. They are not responsible for the killing of those children. All right? So I'll leave it as that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Comrade Eyong. Yeah.
If I may quickly add something really quick to what Comrade Ayon just said, and he provoked something in my mind. You know that I'm just adding to repeating what we've said though for emphasis. You know, to continue to prove how smart these people are, and to show that they are always guilty. They are always caught with their hand in the pot, even though they will never say "Namia Tekam." Not be so. Remember that when schools just reopened, you know what happened? No parents, especially in Gokitunja, where I know because we got stories and pictures from there. People did not send their children to school, but they forced children to go to school. You know, children were actually forced to go to school, that no child is staying at home. And we would see the colonial impostor in the name of a divisional officer sitting in the same classroom with children. That is enough intimidation. Which child will study seeing a DO sitting near them, seeing those uniforms? Because as a child, at the sight of a policeman or anybody in uniform, I would run like they were going to kill me. You know, they just managed to do everything, force them to go to school, and then leave them. They don't commit their acts there. They carry it down to the southern zone and do that, just like my brother said, to tag it on us. But unfortunately, we are going to see the end of it and to prove to the world who owns Amazonia. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mark Comfort, and thank you, Comrade Eyong. Just to add to what the two of you have said, this is the message we are telling Ambazonians. La Republique has a mission which they want to accomplish. That mission is to make the international community see us in the diaspora as those who are sponsoring terrorism, and then see our restoration forces as terrorist forces. If La Republique has a way, La Republique will want the United States, the United Kingdom, Germany to deport all Ambazonians back to Ground Zero so that we can be arrested. That is the reason why they are committing these atrocities on the ground. That the world should see us in the diaspora as people who are sponsoring terrorism, and then see our restoration forces as terrorists, as a terrorist force. With that, our individual diaspora government will come after us and then arrest us. That is what La Republique wants to achieve. In the course of trying to achieve this, some of you on the ground will be victims. In the course of trying to achieve this, that is why they did what they did in Garibu. That is why the American missionary was killed. That is why the students in Kumba were killed. That is why the students in PSS Mancon were kidnapped. They knew that, they remember what happened with Boko Haram and the 300 and something students in northern Nigeria. They were trying, when that incident happened, the world was so concerned about it. So they were trying to do something in PSS so that the world would be concerned and tag us as a terrorist group. Until, with all these things, La Republique has failed. But the question is, who are the victims? These are Ambazonians who are victims. Therefore, we are telling our people on Ground Zero, stop being a victim in the name of helping La Republique to achieve a mission which they cannot achieve. Let nobody deceive you. We are living in a country, our countries are modern countries. The FBI, the CIA, as Comrade Ayon just said, they are not sleeping as the Cameroon police. There's nothing that they are going to pick a phone call from Yaoundé and tell the FBI in the United States. They are watching us. They are watching and listening to our phone communication. They know that we are fighting a just cause. And they know that we have the right to fight what we are fighting. So don't be a victim by trying to help La Republique achieve a mission which they will never achieve. They have been struggling to do this for 4 good years. That is the first loss in this battle on the side of La Republique. They are unable to make the world see us as a terrorist organization. Rather, the United States Congress, for instance, is the one that is trying to educate us about the true history of Southern Cameroon. So they cannot tell us the true history of Southern Cameroon and then turn around and name us as terrorists. Those enablers on ground zero, you are merely giving yourself as free sacrificial lambs to La République du Cameroon. This mission will never be achieved. So stop making yourself a guinea pig for their experiments. Don't use your students as guinea pigs in the hands of La République forces. Don't make yourself a guinea pig by putting on a CPDM uniform. You are not tougher than Fonjinda. You are not tougher than any other people that have passed into the hands of La République. They just want to use you, and when they shall achieve their mission, they will either prey on you or they will dump you. Thank you so much. We shall be moving on to the next topic, which is my comfort. There was a situation about the Mbororo in Donga Mountain. Unfortunately, I received a call last week. I think it was Saturday, from somebody who was, he said was calling from Washington, D.C. Let me take this opportunity to tell all Ambazonians, when you watch this show, if you have to call any of us or any member of the interim government, if you hide your ID, we are not going to pick your call. You first have to start, we have to know who you are, and you have to introduce yourself on your LGA. This individual who happens to claim to have come from the northern zone was trying to accuse us about what we said about the issue of Mbororos in Donga Mountain. I don't know if he himself was a Mbororo man. He was trying to say my comfort was trying to inflame the situation and add more petrol to fire. I don't remember anything that she said that was wrong. She spoke like a mother, a sister, and a wife. And it was all about advising the Mbororo people to be in good terms with the people of Donga Mountain and stop assisting La République du Cameroon in their dubious and wicked activities in the land. My comfort, what do you have to update Ambazonians in what is going on in Donga Mountain? Thank you.
All right. Thank you once again, Comrade Larry. I am going to be talking here. I am going to, since somebody called, I was going to speak in general terms, but I am putting the example out as exactly as it was reported to me by someone who is on the ground, and I'm just reading it here. I wish to relate you this information. Lower is under constant attack by unknown gunmen who are suspected to be the military mixed with the Mbororo, the vigilante group from Upper Mbot. Upper Mbot and Lower Mbot they are one village run by one fund. So Lower Mbot is resistant to the Republic. Meanwhile, Upper Mbot, where the fund is based, they are for La Republic, and they work they connive with Gerald and with the Mbororo people. The person who is reporting is saying that just a couple of days ago, one elderly man's cattle were stolen from the bush by these said Mbororo people, and they sent a vigilante with the help of Gerald to come and harass those from Lower Mbot because they are resisting the people who are for La République du Cameroon. And they do not have rest. They steal from them, they beat them, they do all sorts of things, and the fund finds nothing wrong with that because he has Gerard's support. And I will not continue. I don't care whoever. If that person is courageous, I'm not hiding my face. My name is Comfort. That's what is happening, and it is painful. I am going back to history, and let me say history because there is war now. What our people have suffered for as long as I live on this planet Earth, Mbororo people, most of our people go hungry because when they cultivate their crops, Mbororo come, they break the fences and send their cattle into it to feed on the crops. When they take them to the gendarmerie and so on, they bribe the colonial DOs, and then the farmers go hungry for the rest of the year because they are poor. And now there is war. These same Bororo people, they still connive with the military, with the funds, and so on and so forth, and they treat our people like this. Our people are already stretched enough, and nobody should come telling me that I should not say, I'm not at home. People tell me what they are going through, and we are just saying, hey, let them stop. Because we listened to about 3 weeks ago, Comrade Larry, I think it was on this show, when people called from home telling the funds to go back to where they came from because they consider them now enablers. But if other voices say you should stay at home, you want to stay and just be a normal civil servant in that country like any other person, you don't think that you will take your position as a fund or something to intimidate people or to inflict more pain that our people are already in. Our people are stretched enough. And the only source of comfort, the only place for where they could seek protection or help is where they are rather getting the pain from. That's where the pain is being coordinated for them to go through. So it is unacceptable. Whoever is arguing it should prove us wrong. They should prove us wrong. People are in possession of hardware, sophisticated weapons. They go and do the act while the bills stand outside. So they stand outside in civilian dresses and wait. Anybody coming from any distance, they blow their brains off with their guns. That's what our people are going through. This has to stop because we are saying this, we will fight tooth and nail. If La Republique think that they are mighty, we are bringing them down. It is not small Bororo people when we don't know where they came from, excuse me, that we have been accepting them. That is why we teach you our language. We speak the same language. That is why we call you brothers and sisters. But you have never accepted us to this extent that you are sending us out to be killed. If somebody there says he has anything against this, let them come and prove us wrong. Let them not hide their face because we want to put things right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ma Comfort. I remember before the start of 2016, with the outbreak of this struggle, there have always been complaints from 2 counties in the northern zone. That is Menchum County and Donga Mountain. There have always been issues between the people and the cattle railers. And these cattle railers are either Akus or the Bororos. There have always been complaints, particularly in Menchum, that most of the time Ndawara in Ngokitunja was always the one who was being accused that he was using the Mbororo people to destroy the farmlands of other people and destroy crops and so on. This is not an issue of today. It is a long-term issue. We are calling on our Mbororo and Akus brothers and sisters. Please, we want to live together as one. We are not sending anybody away, but we are not going to tolerate anybody who is playing as an agent of La Republique in the land of Ambazonia. The almighty La Republique did not believe that we were going to resist them for 4 years. We are 4 years into this struggle and we are still moving forward. To those who think that La Republique is mightier and you will help them, let me give you some simple statistics. La Republique was making more than 200 billion CFA francs, excluding their corrupt embezzlements. What CDC alone was paying into the national treasury of La Republique was 200 billion a year. Ambazonians restoration forces have stopped that. They are losing 200 billion a year for 4 years today. La Republique was making about 45 billion from the northern zone and 45 billion from the southern zone for tax collection. You could name them Patang, business registration, all those things and so on. For 4 years today, They have not received a dime. Multiply 90 billion times 4, and we are still going to continue taking them down. The money that they are spending on the military today, they were not facing those charges before. And we will run that economy down till La Republique will not be able to breathe with either by their nose or their mouth. We will run it down to the enablers. You will all perish with La Republique. To the people of Donga Mantum, be very careful. La Republique is using the ignorance of the Mbororos to help them attack and cause enmity between you and the Mbororos. To the Mbororos, please, the people of Donga Mantum are your host, not those agents coming from Yaoundé. We are saying this because we want some of their leaders and some of their educated ones to help us transmit this message to the Mbororos, because we know they might not be getting us or they might not be understanding us. The enmity is being caused by La Republique, and we are not going to accept it. When you push the people to the wall, at one point, as John Minang said, they will accept the fight and they will fight back. Thank you. Something that we have to look at this week. So many things have been going on ground zero. We have talked about education. We have talked about the issue of enablers. Last week, we played a tape of my country people trying to tell the world how they are helping to destroy our revolution. My message to all enablers is that you are fighting a loose battle. We want to tell our restoration forces that we are behind you. You are the law enforcement officials in Ambazonia today. And we are here coming to tell Ambazonians that there was the war draft. We all made pledges. Some of us have not made our pledges. My comfort, what do you have to tell Ambazonians, particularly the LGA leaders, the county chairs, and other leaders in the revolution, to help? Which are the strategies that we have to apply? Some of the strategies that we can apply to encourage people to meet up their pledges. We are now on drafting. This is very serious because our restoration forces need these materials. They are picking up injuries every day. They need to feed. Some have families, and we need to provide all the necessary materials that they have to use to resist La Republique. What do you have to tell Ambazonians this concerns particularly Ambazonians in the diaspora about the draft and meeting their pledges? Thank you.
All right. Thank you once again, comrade. I would start by even asking, why are we talking about Ambazonia war draft? This is something that, like a joke, President Sako came up with it, and it was embraced with all euphoria and so on. We all accepted it, and we saw the need for it. Our word means Ambazonia war draft. Why were we drafting? We were trying to raise this money in order to fight back, because we have been pushed to the wall by the enemy, La République du Cameroon. We are raising this money to defend ourselves, because self-defense is a law recognized by international law, or is an international law. Self-defense is a right, according to international law. Self-determination is a right according to international law. We are doing the award, the Ambazonia war draft. The international community knows that we are raising this money to buy weapons and fight back, because we have been pushed to the wall by the enemy. We can only bounce back because after the war, there's nothing else. We are bouncing back, and we don't bounce back with empty hands. It all started in 2016 as a peaceful demonstration when we came out with peace plans. They snubbed us and sprayed us with bullets and all of the things that they possessed. We cried, our boys and girls said no violence, but they shut their mouth with gun to say yes, we can only go for violence. This war is unnecessary. It is meaningless. We did not call for it. The old man in Yaoundé, dead or alive now that I am speaking, which is none of my business, officially pronounced this war on the 30th of November 2017. And because he thought that's a song les Anglo, when they hear the word la guerre, they are going to shut up. They forget that we are Bamenda chop fire. And unfortunately, you can only continue to chop fire when you have money, because it takes money to get what we need. It takes money to maintain and sustain the health and the well-being of our boys, young boys and girls who have kept everything aside and laid themselves on the sacrificial table to go through what they're going through, so that we can have a place to call home. So it is incumbent on you and I to do ourselves a favor. We know that the most infamous, I would say they are infamous because, of course, they are post on Facebook are like, wait till they don't do with money for my trip to my our award. How much you don't pay for award where you want make it be used? You know, one of the cheapest in the world, if you afford, it costs $1,000. Maybe the weight now your $1,000, it runs short of $1,000 when your own, when they flop and go get weight where we want. And think if we could rephrase our questions from an honest perspective for us can say, wait when I don't do with my $1,000 if you are being honest, because anything you do and for you out of evil, it is going to bounce back on you. It is no time, there's no more time to waste, because how much we waste time, that's how we're protracting the war. How much we waste time and spend time, the time that would have fetched money and paid for this, and we keep on talking and not doing anything. We are committing another Ngarbu. We are committing another Kumba. We are killing another Mami Api. We are killing another baby mother. We are frying another baby into the oil. Because these people are animals. They are cold-blooded. They do not feel. They do not care at all. The moment you still look at your money and keep it and think that you'll be worshipping it, you are sending another military man to go and get your uncle rape his daughter in front of his wife. So please, let us do ourselves a favor, redeem our pledges, and get this mess out of our way. This is the never again, no nonsense generation. The generation that has everything that it takes to fight a war. Our forefathers did not have internet. They did not have mobile phones. They did not have all the good transport network that they have. They did not have all the education. They were not as exposed as you and I are today. We have everything that it takes. Let us use it and get this mess out of our way, so that we'll find time and more reason to celebrate. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Malcolm, for you just said it all. You just said it all. We are telling our people that we have to meet our pledges. Comrade Eyong, what are you telling the people of Manyo and the rest of Ambazonians about their pledges? Do you have something to add?
Yeah, okay. First of all, this war is a fantastic thing for La Republique, because really there is no war. The problem is we have asked them to leave our country because we are not a property of La Republique. So in order to confuse the situation, they are trying to tell the international community that they have a war. And then while people are concentrating and focusing on the war, they are not focusing on the fact that our country has been annexed. As a matter of fact, a lot of people in Africa don't even know that Southern Cameroon is actually a UN trust territory and is not part of La Republique, or is not owned by La Republique. All they know is the war. So La Republique is very happy that everything that we talk about is just a war, and we are not asking them to leave. Okay? That is the situation that is making La Republique. All of this is a tactic. When this problem started, La Republique was not supposed to fight anyone. there was peace, people demonstrating. We restored our independence. They would have simply come to the table. They decided to start shooting. They came with weapons, rocket-propelled grenades, killed innocent protesters. When we started fighting back, that was fantastic for them, because now there is a war. Not the fact that we are asking them to leave, but there is a war. That's the first point I want to make about that. In terms of the fundraising, I support the fundraising completely. And I think a lot more people should get involved and make their donations to this struggle. One way to look at this is the way, I mean, I did my own years ago in the 90s. I did some fundraising about the rainforest, and I tried the idea of everybody should make a donation because our rainforest is getting destroyed. But then I reverted to the idea to look at it as a business. And once I turned it into a business venture, I started to realize that people were paying for the services I provided. So this is just a suggestion that one of the things you can do is to turn this. The people are aware, but how do you get somebody to actually pay for something? All the Southern Cameroonians to pay for this. If you start creating memorabilia, for instance, if we have a T-shirt which says Southern Cameroon Liberation on Amazon that you have to buy because you need that, and maybe you are doing that already, I don't know. I've just come new to this. I'm sure clever people like Comfort and all of you guys are probably doing all of this.
Yeah, Comrade Comfort, Comrade Ayon, we are today we are specifically talking about the pledges that were made during the war draft. Many people are not meeting their pledges. Yeah, many people are not meeting their pledges. We are encouraging everyone that go to your LGA and pay your pledge. Meet up your commitment. It was a promise. That promise was registered right to our restoration forces. They are looking up to the LGA chairs. They are looking up to the county chairs. They might not believe that all the money is coming in. But when you keep the money in your pocket, you make your county chair or your LGA chair questionable before the restoration forces because they know that pledges were made and it is the responsibility of all the leaders to go back to those who made those pledges and ask them to pay their pledges so that they can acquire the materials that they need on ground zero to fight La République du Cameroon. We are calling on every Amazonian that made a pledge. Please, my comfort is like I'm still owing you. This week, tomorrow, Friday, I think I will pay you so that you don't come here and tell the world that Comrade Larry made a promise to me and it was never met. I'm very sorry for coming late.
You know, Sani shut up now. You know, Sani shut up, so you better hurry.
No, but I've been make effort at that very particular moment for meet up my commitment, but it was very difficult because me I not be that person where I be very good in making those papers, financial payment, but I will try. Tomorrow Friday I will make know your commitment. So we are encouraging every other.
You are consuming Comrade Ayon's time, please. Just
Yeah,
I'm coming
yeah.
back to you. Don't worry. I'll come to you
Okay.
privately.
Yeah, so we are calling on every Amazonian to make their payment. Comrade Aaron.
Yes, I'm aware of that. Okay, tell you what, as I said, I'm new to this, so I can just bring what I have prepared today. Okay, I get what you're saying, and I support you completely. I think if you've made a pledge, then you must follow your pledge. I am with you on that one, right? What about the people who have not made a pledge? You might have 90% of Southern Cameroonians who have not made a pledge. You are losing. If you got 10% Southern Cameroonian who've made a pledge, you got 90% of the people which you have not even contacted. If I go around my town here right now, where I live, there are people here who don't even know what you're talking about. You might not believe it. There are people here, I can go to Leeds, who don't even know what you're talking about. So what I'm saying is, it is possible that the strategy can be improved, more dialogue, and find a better way to get all Southern Cameroonians, you probably 3 million out here. If you only get $1 from each one of them, that's $3 million. If you are not contacting everybody and you are getting a few people making a pledge, you are not making money. So the best thing is we need a strategy which encompasses and brings every single Amazonian making commitment to pay. And if they are not making a pledge, at least they are paying. There are ways in which you can think about to get the Southern Cameroonians, all of them actually pay. Now, I have strategies. I bet you have strategies, and everybody else has got strategies. One of the things I'm thinking about here is every single town in the West can have a funding czar. So somebody who is in charge of that town. That person himself can go around and contact all the Southern Cameroonians, create a database of every person in their town. Once you've got that database of every single person, then that czar of that town can then contact everyone who hasn't paid and say, why haven't you made your payments? You have to do the footwork. I think putting things on the internet and then expecting people to react to it is a good idea, but actually getting out there yourself, just like Jehovah's Witness. Sometimes they have to go door to door and get people to join their whatever they're trying to do. So I just think there are other ways to get every Southern Cameroonian involved, and I think we need to look at the strategy. Okay, we need to look at the strategy. The strategy that you have now is working to a certain extent, but I just have a feeling that a very large amount of Southern Cameroonians are not even involved. And I think that large amount of Southern Cameroonians, we need to find a way. We need to find a way to contact them. I've just put some suggestions. I've got many suggestions, but I think that as the time probably has come for a kind of a meeting on this, so that people can brainstorm and find a way to get all the Southern Cameroonians actually participating in this contribution. All right. So that's what I want to add to that.
Okay.
Over.
All right. I just want to step in now because something has just happened, dear televiewers, fellow Amazonians, and that this is the struggle for us. If you can't see Comrade Larry here, it does not mean that we will stop the reflection at some point, because I can still talk and Comrade Ayon can, of course, still talk. So we are going to, both of us, continue and wrap up the show together with you all watching us now, both on Facebook and on the satellite, and why not on YouTube. I will use this opportunity to tell fellow Ambazonians and sympathizers of Ambazonia war or the liberation struggle that ABC Amber TV has got an app. And if you would like to support us, if you like what we do, and if you want the continued functioning of ABC Amber TV, support us just by subscribing for a $10 lifetime subscription to get your own app, and you can watch ABC on the go. You can watch ABC Amber TV 24 hours round the clock. That said, any moment from now, Comrade Ayon, if you permit me, I would like us to quickly have a chat, after which we will let people just call in, at least one or two. We always like to get the perspective of our lovely and loving people. Comrade Ayon, I was going through Mimi Mefo's platform today, and I stumbled on this article, and I just quickly want to read an extract from it and let you, after reading it, I'm just giving you room to actually comment on that before we open room for the call. So please be ready, but until Comrade Ayon finishes talking, nobody should call. And anytime where you want call, make sure you come out for corner your television. Comrade Ayon, here it is. I'm just reading the portion that I want you to comment on. In a release issued Wednesday, December 2nd, 2020, the Minister of Territorial Administration says President Paul Biya, who doubles as the national president of Cameroon People's Democratic Movement, CPDM political party, has mainly responded to an earlier plea by the traditional rulers for the president to help them with money to run their campaign. Paul Atanganji has therefore instructed regional councils to distribute the money to the traditional rulers with immediate effect. And when I tried to find out further, I realized that this money was just distributed to the traditional rulers about 4 days ago, when the election is actually 4 days to the election start off. Meanwhile, the election campaigns actually kicked off on the 21st of November. What do you have to say about this money thing, asking for support and so on and so forth, and connected to the election or the selection that is illegally taking place on our land? Comrade Eyong.
Well, I think the fact that you are beginning to bribe people like this, it must be clear that the president is aware that it is, we don't want the election. The he's had the experience before. The last time there was a presidential election, there was a ghost town. Nobody voted for Paul Biya. Paul Biya is not the president of Southern Cameroon. Paul Biya is the president of La République. That country is called La République, right? So he wasn't even, the election did not take place in our place. The ghost town worked very well. We checked that. It was fantastic. So he knows now that if he has an election now, it's going to be the same thing. So now he's offering money to try to persuade those chiefs to basically go against probably their principles. It's a bit of a shame, but I think he's going to waste his money because Southern Cameroonians really don't want this election. I've spoken to people back home. I asked them, are you aware of a ghost town? They said, yes, we all know there's a ghost town starting on Friday. And everybody is looking forward to that ghost town. And I've checked and I said, why are you doing it? Why do you want this ghost town? Because we don't want any election in our country. Everybody is aware of that. So what Paul Biya is doing, Paul Biya is aware. Paul Biya is aware that we don't want his election. Southern Cameroon is not his country. So what he is doing is trying to bribe those chiefs.
Yeah.
Yes, carry on.
Yes, there's something I still quickly want you to add, because if you've been listening to Secretary Chris's own perspective about these elections, they are about to create the House of Chiefs, one in the northern zone and the other one in the southern zone. And according to Secretary Chris, their intention is they are just continuing their tactic of divide and rule or divide and conquer. Would you reason in that direction, or do you have another way of interpreting it to make more sense and give more reason for our people not to be part of it?
Okay, the whole idea, you see what they are trying to do, right? La République is a very, very clever set of people. They know very clearly, they're not stupid. They know that Southern Cameroon is an independent country. They know that. Don't be deceived. La République is aware that Southern Cameroon is independent. But La République cannot come out to you and say, Southern Cameroon, you are independent. They can't do that because of their own interests. Okay? So what La République is doing, La République is accepting their faults. They had their dialogue, and they had some steps that they wanted to go through that dialogue. And one of them was to recreate the House of Chiefs. All right? This is the former West Cameroon. We had House of Chiefs. So, which is what they're doing. But the issue is, how can I say it? It's like they're guilty, but they don't want to admit their guilt, but they are going through a backdoor way to be giving us back our country without us getting really excited about it and push them away. So it's a sign of weakness by La République, because they are now accepting that West Cameroon had a House of Chiefs. Yes, they do. Also, our capital is Buea. They have to leave our capital alone. We did not tell them that we don't want Buea anymore as our capital. Our capital is Buea. We had PWD, which is our public works department, and it goes on and on, the marketing board, all those, whether they are going to be handing those things back slowly, I don't know. But that is a step. All right?
Yes.
So what I'm saying is, this is what they are doing. They are admitting guilt, and they are taking some steps, but without actually coming out openly and saying, we are sorry for annexing your country, and we are giving you, we're going to give it back to you.
All right, all
That's
right.
what I think.
Comrade Ayo, I'm going to plead that you are going to, I would say, keep a bookmark here, because at the end you will still come back to conclude. And listen,
Okay.
I'm not going to comment on what you have said, but let us open the lines now and let our people call in. Let's hear what they have to add or subtract from what you have just said and the rest of the things that we have discussed tonight. This is really interesting, and I like your interpretation of it. I just hope that someone calls and comments on that to either add or subtract, and let's see where other people are coming from. So the lines are open now, and the number is displayed on the screen. Please, when you want to call, do not stand near your receiver. If you are listening on your phone, you bring the volume to 0. Listen only to WhatsApp. If it's on TV, either you leave the room where the TV is, or you bring your volume to 0 and listen to us only on WhatsApp and not through the TV or where you are receiving the call. So that said, while we are waiting, I'll just start saying a thing, but if a call comes in, then I am going to give room to them. I'll give an upper hand to the caller. So while you say, given the interpretation you have given about that, which is so sweet, I just want to hear from our people. I'm just here once again to repeat something I said last week. This beer of a guy and his clique, they think that they can be smart, but I think that we are smarter. All right, somebody's already here. Reflection. Hello? Hello?
Yes, hello.
Hello? You're live on ABC Amber TV.
Yes, hello, Malcolm. This is Dr. Gwambe. How are you?
I'm fine, Doc. Thanks for calling.
Good. Greetings to Comrade Ayoung there on the other side. You all are doing a marvelous job. Great show today.
Thank you so much. Thanks. Yeah.
So the main reason why I'm calling is because as I'm watching you all thinking about our country, Ambazonia, I'm feeling very proud to be Ambazonian. And the reason why I'm proud to be Ambazonian is because we are a just people. We take care of our own. And I know we are going to be a beacon of democracy and prosperity in the Gulf of Guinea. My question to you and Malcolm Foote, and our patriotic brother there, Mr. Young, is why are both of you proud to be Ambazonian? Please let our public know why you are proud to be Ambazonian. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Gwambe. That's a good one. All right. Thanks. Thanks for calling. Dr. Ayon, Comrade Ayon, would you like to go first? But if anybody, please, 1 second. If for callers you have been listening, you heard our brother Dr. Gwambe calling, and he's asking Dr. Comrade Ayon and myself to tell Ambazonians and the whole world why we are proud to be Ambazonian. So if you call, equally tell us why you are proud to be Ambazonian. So Comrade Ayon, go first. But if a call comes in, I'm afraid I'm going to cut you off. Carry on.
Well, I think the question is quite it's a good question, but I think that question can apply to everybody in every country. If you're Kenyan, you will be proud to be a Kenyan. If you are La République, you will be proud to be La République. Though at the moment, I don't want to be a member of La République because they are committing genocide. If you are Southern Cameroonian, you have to be proud of your country. We have to be proud of our country because our country has a lot of intelligent people in it. We have a lot of resources. We have, we have a myriad of potential. So I am proud of Saudi. We are very intelligent people, and in fact, looking at what we've done so far, we have a massive country like La République. We have the United Nations, which is playing games against us. We have the United States, who is kind of supporting us and playing games against us. But we have shown a resolve that before, I didn't even know that Southern Cameroonians can be this brave. They have been brave politically. They've been brave militarily. They've shown resistance. You are killing them and they're not even surrendering. I mean, most people, when there was an Igbo, I have to be honest, the moment they killed 3-4 Igbo people, they ran away and they didn't want to fight anymore. These Ambazonians have impressed me. And I'm an Ambazonian. I'm a Southern Cameroonian. I've seen that what La République has done to this Southern Cameroonian, 99% of everybody else in every country would have escaped by now. These people, these Southern Cameroonians have remained resolute. They are keeping their ghost towns every Monday. If you speak to them, they are not intimidated. And to be honest with you, I am proud to be an Ambazonian. And I think there is a reason why God created that country, Ambazonia, and we are beginning to see right now who they really are. La Republique is scared. Yes. And the rest of Africa will be frightened of that country once we finish. All right?
Yeah, thank you.
So that's the reason why I'm proud of my country. There might be other reasons, but that's what I can tell.
Let me have a go. I don't think there are many reasons, because I can only tell people that I am so proud to be Ambazonia, so much so that if I were to die now and I have an opportunity to come back again, I will beg God to bring me back as Ambazonian. That is how serious it is. I am so Ambazonian and so proud of it that I say it everywhere, anywhere, anytime. You know, so I'm careful when I meet people on the way, because when you see people who come from those places, we know ourselves. We meet even in the shops. When you see somebody who comes from La Republique, you know. So I think they recognize us too. When they say, are you Cameroonian? I say, no, I am Ambazonian. Say, but c'est la même chose. I say, no, it's not the same. It's not the same, because I am too Ambazonian to be mixing our stuff. I am proudly Ambazonian because we are such a brave and courageous people, like you said. We are a beautiful people with beautiful brains. We are a rich people. We are an educated people. We are a people who know where they are coming from and exactly where they are going to. We are a people who know what we want. We are a people, a name. We have a little name, the name of our capital. I think one of the shortest spellings on earth. Just a 4-letter word, B-U-E-A. At the mention of Boya, La République trembles, France gets confused, and the word is like, wow, they are calling that word again. So little a word, Boya, and the whole place is confused. That is how serious it is. Proudly Ambazonian. Thank you once again, Dr. Ngwambe. So if fellow Ambazonians, the lines are still open for 1 or 2 minutes, just call in to tell us why you are proudly Ambazonian. It makes sense. Call in and tell us why we should have this ghost town, the 4-day ghost town that we have agreed upon. Call us to tell us how ridiculous it is that Biya is bribing our chiefs to go in for some selection that will not take place, because we will not stand to watch it happen. So apart from that, we will not be keeping us here for so long, because our technician always doing a good job. Shout out to you, Comrade Oben, and thank you so much for always being there for us. And if Ambazonians do not call, we just want to think that they were so satisfied that they don't need to call either to contribute or to ask questions. But the moment that I stop, please, the moment this call closes, nobody should call my phone. I'm really begging. If you have a question, call now and ask. If you have a contribution, do it right now, or you post it on the screen and let me read it. If you have a question and you don't want to call, type it out and I can read it, such that either Comrade Eyong or myself or both of us will have 1 or 2 things to say, and so we can move on. So that said, Comrade Eyong, I want to give you the last minute now to give a last word of encouragement or comment or anything you want to tell our people as we are wrapping up, so that we give way for the next programs. Thank you.
Okay, I think the key part now today is about the election, and I'm very proud of the Ambazonian people for, I know and I trust 100% that you are going to respect the lockdown, as that is the best mechanism that we have to inform La République that Southern Cameroon is not their property. We are not the property of La République. That should be made very clear to La République, that if they are interested in any kind of dialogue, they should follow what the United Nations has said to them, that they should go and look at the root cause of this problem and deal with it. But the fact of the matter is, the country is called La République, which gained independence in 1960. That's when they gained independence. It's called La République now, and it's not Southern Cameroon. So Southern Cameroon is clearly not part of it. So I'm very proud of you, and I trust that you will follow this ghost town and respect it, because we must continue to make La République to know that Southern Cameroon is not their country. We are ashamed of the kind of funding that we are doing from Trip to Boya. This has been fantastic effort by our president. He's the only one who's actually raised a significant amount of money and actually announced it. The rest of the people, we don't know what they're doing. So Trip to Boya was the first success. This current draft is also a success. We are happy with what he's doing. We're disappointed that some people have not made their pledges, but we know that we can do better if we do a lot of consultation. We bring in consultants, we find the best way to get all Southern Cameroonians at home and in diaspora all donating and contributing so that we can be making the kind of money that I feel that we can. I mean, we could be making $50 million. Southern Cameroonians, I can give you the mathematical calculation here. Southern Cameroonians can produce that kind of money. The problem we are having is that a very small amount of people are pledging and donating, and we are not actually getting every single person involved. That's all I'm going to say about that. But we love you all. Southern Cameroon is your country, and you have to trust us that we are heading in the right direction, and that we should continue with the spirit, and eventually we shall reach our goal, which is to ask La République to politely leave our country. All right. So back to you, Comfort.
All right, thank you so much, Comrade Ayong. So, fellow Ambazonians, dear televiewers, I just want to add my voice to what my brother has said. And on this note, I would rather send a word of reminder to La République du Cameroon that on several occasions they have given their consent to the Swiss-led negotiation. And so, any other delaying tactics they are doing now will not get Ambazonia for them. If they think that they will manipulate their way to Ambazonia, it will not work. If they think that they will shoot their way to Ambazonia, it cannot work. If they think that they will intimidate us and get Ambazonia, it will never work. If they think that because they have weapons and they have more friends in the world and so on, and that's what they will do to get Ambazonia, it can never work. So the only right thing for them to do, all of this bribery and so on, is taking them to nowhere, because we are resolute. Our hands are laid and glued to the plow until we reach Boya. And the only thing for the advice, or as a reminder to Paul Biya, let him know that he is losing the lives of thousands of young people, both from his own side and from the side of Ambazonia. That is painful. So this war is unnecessary, and the only way to end it can only be in the Swiss, on the table, on the occasion of the Swiss-led negotiated settlement. So whatever thing they are doing now is just a smokescreen, is just cosmetic, and so on and so forth. Severally, you have given your consent for the Swiss-led process to take place. So see you in Switzerland, and the war would stop naturally, and you will stop spilling the blood of innocent people. So, my dear Amazonian people, I love you. Special respect to General Gabonese of Fako, special respect to Field Marshal, special respect to the boys of Bui County, special respect to all Amazonia Restoration Forces. God bless you, and see you really soon. And thank you. Bye.
Thank you. All right.
to this problem. We have had that. But what has happened is that those who have opposed us, when Somaliland became free and we went about developing it, and the Somalia they praised was still caught up in its own internal war and conflict that needed peacekeeping missions to contain it. They eventually came, alienated from the land for a long time, came back, beaten, maybe even retired, really having no basis, life in the States forever, not satisfied. They come back and they say, I was wrong. I was wrong. You know, I mean, what do? You just say, come on, join. And that's the attitude here in Somaliland. Those who, as long as they haven't committed crime, you know,
right?
Crime, I mean, in terms of killing some people, they can come, even post. And typically, when they come, those characters,
for as long as they did,
people.
For as long as they did not commit crimes, they can return to Somaliland.
They can return to Somaliland. They can also nowadays, they can, whether they are in Somalia or they can ask for forgiveness.
Wonderful.
They can ask for forgiveness, and that forgiveness is often accepted and avoiding, because people have come to understand. You know, there's common people who really have capacity to empathize, to find reason, as long as they found leaders who are willing to do that. You understand?
Right.
And so, you know, you commit, somebody does something wrong or goes against Somaliland, yeah, you know, if they say I'm wrong, and that's it. Salama. There's no problem. I think someday one of you must, Chris, come here. Come here.
I would like to come there. I would like to come there. We're going to talk about that behind these cameras.
Okay. I will invite you. You come here. You come
Absolutely.
Here.
Listen, it's a wonderful, wonderful pleasure. I wish we had much more time to talk about this, but I don't think this is going to be the last time. But let me ask you, Doug, before we call this off, if you were to advise the Ambazonian people, what would you say to the leadership and to the people and to the intelligentsia in Ambazonia?
What I would say is this: the struggle for freedom and equity, for social justice, is not a very easy and smooth road, but it's very worthwhile. It's one that you think that you can escape tyrannical rule of injustice. It is false. It's a delusion. It comes to you one way or another. It is very important also, when this struggle takes, you seek and emphasize unity, a common struggle. Remember, you did not create other individuals according to your wishes. They have different tendencies, different ways of thinking, different, you know, even something that contradicts your views. But it is very important to have the patience and the willingness to listen and to work together for unity. Because without unity, you cannot win the struggle that you are seeking. You have to have patience. And usually, if you do not go for a tit for tat kind of situation, I think you can get it. Sometimes it may be that the decisions you don't find to a common ground you find, holding that idea of we want unity. Without unity, we cannot win. And the unity does not come suddenly and automatically. It takes that kind of patience to work together and to not take the ball of your view. Lastly, what I say is that, Chris, okay? Wait.
What do you do in a situation where some of the groups fighting with you really don't feel like they need you or they want you. It is their way or the highway. I'm saying this in relation to the unity that
Yes,
you're
I
talking
understand.
about here. What do you do in that situation?
Well, it's very difficult. It's certainly very difficult because those are willing even to eliminate you. You know, we have had some individuals like that. I had friends in the States. They were in universities in the States. They went back and they were, held incommunicado, tortured, killed. And some of those in Somaliland have reported them, have created conditions for them to be abused and to report, use snitching, and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, those kinds of individuals may work for, well, let me give you an example. Somaliland, as it was in war and fighting, and many of the population moved on to refugees. The military regime held control of the city of Hargeisa. And at the time I came back, I was doing trauma treatment and so on. One man came to me, and he was a citizen of Hargeisa, rooted in the ground here, but he was a soldier who worked with the government, working in a location, military headquarters, he was explaining. Not far from the military headquarters were mass graves, people being captured in the city, from the city and so on, being captured and being killed. Bulldozer is digging out these big, holes in which en masse they would be shot. They fall back, and then it was covered with. He was working with them. He was working with them. He was a soldier. He was working with them. Many other soldiers was there. He could see his own people being buried. En masse. And now the mass graves are there. In fact, there has been open and so on. So some of them come out during rain season or something like that. Anyway, this guy was telling me, I was there. I was part of the armed forces. I saw what was going on. And then one day, just like that, one officer decided I should be joining. One morning he said, I should be joining the crowd that is being executed because I was of Somaliland. So he said, I was kept in a cell, kept there for the late afternoon massacre that was taking place, and I would have been massacred until one soldier who was a friend of mine, he said, from Somalia, who was also of the clan of the dictator, who came forward and said he brought his gun and sat in front of my door in the cell and said, before you take him, you have to kill me. And he sat there, defending his friend. That's very important, in terms, he put his life in the defense of this guy because they were friends. He was there, take him that day, afternoon. They couldn't take him at night. Some other friend brought him some food, which he could share, in a window with his own friend. While he was protecting for some days, the Somali national movement came to the city and chased the military from that area. So the door was open, and the guy was saying, once the door was open, and this guy was sitting with his gun, I took the gun and took him along with me and traveled with him all the way to his clan settlement, which is hundreds of miles away. Made sure that he was safe in his own community, and I came back. So the point is, really a number of messages within this. The first is those who think they are safe with those who murder or exploit or oppress their people are never safe. It's a matter of time. It comes back to them. They are suspect. If they ignore it, still they are suspect. The slightest move will get them pay the price. Some of them recognize early and then they leave. But in this story I'm telling you is the power of friendship as well. The power of friendship that is there, where two men reciprocate. One is now in power, the other is in trouble. And so it happens. And I think those are human situations that are important.
Yes. One question that I forgot to ask you is, did you have Somaliland military personnel in Somalia fighting alongside Somalia against the struggle for independence by Somaliland? And if so,
yes, there was.
How did they behave? I mean, what was their reaction when Somaliland broke out and said, "We want our own country"? Where was their allegiance?
Okay, an example of that is someone who was head of security at the time, some time ago. For the military regime, he was security, and actually, son-in-law of the dictator was from Somaliland, and he went full force, in the oppression of Somaliland. The regime fell. He's exiled forever. He lives abroad. That's it. Cut off.
That sends a big message that sometimes,
yes,
someday somehow the regime will fall, and those who supported the regime may never return.
It will fall. It will fall. Truly, one that's built on injustice. Another example: the prime minister, and also chief military officer, minister of defense. When the regime fell, he went to the United States. To the United States. This is very important. He was living comfortably in the States. The Somalilanders who were in the United States, some who were tortured, accused him, took him to court. And the court, the first court, having listened to the individuals who were tortured and abused, were members in the United States, the court said that he was guilty. They took an appeal.
The court in the United States found him guilty.
Found him guilty.
Okay.
Then there was another appeal.
And what happened? What happened? Was he sentenced or what? Did he go to jail?
This is what I'm coming to. This is my brother, what's coming to. So he had an appeal, and another court said, no, he's not guilty. There was appeal, and he went to the Supreme Court of the United States, and he was found guilty.
Three times?
Found guilty. Yes, 2 times.
2 times. Okay.
First time, second time not guilty. Then there was appeal by the aggrieved, and the Supreme Court finally said that he was guilty. His argument was
the U.S. Supreme Court finally told him he was guilty.
Yes, U.S. Supreme Court found him guilty. There was another one, also from Somaliland. He was in the armed forces. He is known to have killed people while he was in Somaliland working for the regime, to the point that one individual in a town called Gabile, you can see him held, he's tied up, his hands tied up behind him actually, and his legs tied up, and he's sitting like that. He poured petrol and burnt him alive. And his picture is there smiling, and all that. We found that picture, and that was put in trial. He was in the States. First, he was in Canada, and the Somaliland community there complained to the Canadian government, and they kicked him out of Canada. He came to the United States, which was more lenient, and there was trial, and the trial went again through that process, and he was found guilty. So what I'm saying is diaspora can do a lot.
Where are they today?
One actually, he was denied his citizenship. He was elderly man. He passed away. Very much beaten, and even few compensation, monetary compensations he was supposed to pay. You know, he couldn't, but people have forgiven up because they proved the cause they had. The other one is, listen, the other one has been given a job at the embassy, Somali embassy, the Somalia that's recognized, has given him a job as a security officer. You see, that's how Somalia itself continues to insist that Somaliland doesn't have a right. So the guy he has gotten diplomatic, protection, is security.
Right.
Immunity.
Doctor,
So
I would like you to look at your camera and speak to Ambazonians. Ambazonians have been fighting for, I would say, more than 50 years. We only took up arms 4 years ago after La République du Cameroon formally declared war on our people. Over 15,000 have been killed in Ambazonia. Over close to 1 million are living in the bushes as we speak, and over 120,000 live in refugee camps in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Benin Republic, Equatorial Guinea, all over West and Central Africa, and the war goes on. La République du Cameroon has refused to talk, has refused to negotiate. What message, being that you have walked the road that Ambazonians are walking right now, what advice would you give to Ambazonians, first in the diaspora, second, those on ground zero, thirdly, those who support, the intelligentsia who support the Cameroon government? These three classes of people, the Ambazonians in the diaspora, those on ground zero, and the intelligentsia who feels like Ambazonia can never be free. What would you say to them?
Well, first and foremost, I would say I empathize. I feel sad because we have gone through that kind of road and suffering in Somaliland. Thousands and thousands died. It didn't take 50 years in our case, but it certainly was 30 years of living dictatorship. One that we ourselves we delivered our own freedom with some optimistic view of brotherhood, of building something together, only to find that was really our hell. Ambazonians have struggled even more, suffered, as you explained, Chris, much more, and I'm saddened about it. But I do think, though, unity, as I emphasize, with ideas of how to find freedom and social justice is very important. People can be beaten there, but certainly if they are together, it's not always a question of numbers. It's a question of ideas and commitment and working together in a spirit of achieving much more than personal gain. Personal gain in terms of either power or money, monetary things. We have an obligation to each other when we are in that situation. And I think Ambazonians, I think the first line of defeat comes when you yourself defeat yourself, among each other. The first line. The first line of strength comes with your conviction and unity when you're strong. They may be big, they may be more powerful, but they are built on structure of injustice. When people are after a structure of injustice, it's a matter of time, and there will come a point, even if dictators in that or oppressors in that ground will face their own people. Their own people are not just tools, they're not forever. They have their own desire, and it may come, the collapse will come from inside as the outside is also oppressive. So I say, try to find ways in which you can, if peacefully you can get it, well and good. But if you don't and you organize yourself, you just have to remain united and make sure that you do not commit the kind of crimes that have been committed on you. It's very important because this is the issue about revenge and all of that that will recreate itself. So I hope the best for all of you in your struggle. We in Somaliland have gone through that, and I'm sure you will find empathy in that. The other point is, it takes, as you win your independence, there will be governments that on their own will just say, no, we don't recognize. They don't believe in social justice. They are not critical. Then we have found some countries that are. South Africa was one of those. They're willing to listen, and at one point they even came up with a study on that. You will find gradually on time, social justice is something that is indivisible. You cannot get it in the same space we are, and I lack it. We must have it together. It doesn't come full and 100%, but the more we get it together, the better it is. So hold together and reach out. And I also want to say the diaspora is very important. I was a member of the diaspora. The diaspora tends to live abroad in a different environment. They don't see much hunger, more insecurity. They have a good deal of luxury when the people are suffering. But I believe they can do a lot, because I've seen we have done a lot. We have done a lot, and our people recognize it, that we have done a lot. Whether it is sending remittances for refugees and others, even if you send it to your own relatives, that's also helpful to your own community. Second, the movement, those who sacrifice themselves are doing it not personal gain, but for the collective benefit. And I think they deserve to be helped materially, politically, diplomatically, intellectually. So that struggle, I think the diaspora can play a very important role. Those who are fighting for it, that's their way of doing it. They're soldiers, they're guerrilla, whatever they are. But there is the intellectual weight as well as the advantages we have. I was there in the States. I may think, like many other intellectuals, I was such a genius and all of that. Nonsense. I was here because those who are in the ground, one way or another, had helped me reach there. And I have to pay. Yeah, well, as the phrasing goes, to whom much is given, much is expected.
Thank you. Thank you. So I think you have said it all, but one last question, just briefly. Did Somaliland had to go into Somalia to fight?
There were early attempts to help Somalia in helping in the fight, but it was more in terms of as one group, Mohammed Farah Aidid. He was a military man, he was sent to India as an ambassador, but it was more of he was from Somalia. He was from Somalia. He was sent by the dictator to India more as a honored expulsion. India. What can he do in India? He's so far away. So then later he came to fight, and he came to the SNM, fighting, the Somaliland national movement. They helped him. They helped him as much as they could, and he started his own war, very important war within Somalia to help bring down the military regime. Mm-hmm. So there was a collaboration.
Right.
And there were, some individuals like one of well-known military guerrilla man who was a colonel who went to that area and he was killed. Not in war, but there was subversion that the military regime has.
So he's fighting in there inside, waging his own war inside Somalia was meant to weaken the military regime internally.
The military, yes, internally. So that has happened. And there were other movements also that fought with the military regime in Somalia, from Somalia. So these groups weakened the regime as SNM was fighting as well. And so there were some coordinations from time to time, one way or another. Some, in fact, soldiers who were fighting for the military regime and were from Somalia or allies to Somalia. In the war, some of them have decided to give up and broker peace with SNM that was fighting and managed to live honorably there. So yes, it happens. But I think Amazonia, when your people are being killed, when massacres are taken, when they are refugees, anyone who really believes when so much is happening that they have personal advantage in staying with system of oppression is delusional.
Well, Prof, it is such a big privilege talking to you, learning from your experiences in Somaliland. We are hoping that one day we'll be able to tell our own story as you tell yours to us today. And I really look forward to meeting you over there in Somaliland. Let's talk about both struggles and let's see the inspiration that we can draw from you in Somaliland. It was a pleasure having you, sir.
My pleasure. Also, I want to tell you, with YouTube, you can look up some videos about Somaliland. One of them is about the massacres and what has happened. That I didn't take any films. I didn't do any cameras. But there was the point in which I decided the story had to be told, and I picked up all the films and put together. It's called "Kill All But the Crows." CROWS. Okay. Kill All But the Crows, and that documentary. It's in English. I did it also in Somali. Two copies of it. I did it in English. So one, somebody who has done it is not. I'm not a filmmaker. I just put together a story. That title was taken by Zira, and you will see it also there. Kill All But the Crows, and they built on my own story and then developed another. You will see both of them telling about the massacres and how the regime worked and what people fought against it.
All right.
May be interested.
Thank you, Prof. It's a pleasure. You have a great night, sir. I know it's late in the night there.
Yes, it is, but it's okay.
All right. God bless. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.